Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Wallace, co-founder and admin of Detroit Sports Bettors. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. Today, we're coming at you with another DraftKings sponsored NBA playoff slate breakdown. Really excited about this slate. We got 3 playoff matches one day going all night long. I'm going to give you some point props, some over-under, and you know my favorite, the player point props. So I'm going to give you some of those as well. Okay, going to try and shrink these videos down in terms of time. I know you guys just want picks. You have busy days. So let's get right into it. Starting off with the Boston Celtics against the Brooklyn Nets. All right. Currently, the Brooklyn Nets sit at a -9 spread, and the game total is a 227 over under. You know, when you see these numbers like -9, I get it. It's big, it's scary, but I am riding with the Brooklyn -9. And I'll tell you why. The Boston Celtics are on the edge of destruction. Brad Stevens, a couple of years ago, they were talking about him getting coach of the year, this and that. Now he's potentially getting talks about getting fired. When you have a team like Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and you can't put it together, yeah, I kind of get it. Now Jaylen Brown is out. All the pressure is on Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker. I don't think that's a good spot for Kemba Walker, especially when you're going up against a team like the Nets. If you've watched Boston this year, you know they are a team that just absolutely falls apart. Times they should perform, they don't. And times they should underperform, they underperform. So again, I'm going with Brooklyn -9. I think this team gets very frustrated going against Brooklyn. When you got KD, Kyrie, and Harden. And then again, if all those players start missing, and then you have someone like Joe Harris putting into a couple threes, it's frustrating. And I can just see this team falling apart really quick. Again, with that 227 too, because of this, I see this game being like more like a 118, I don't know, 107 or something like that. And I think they cover the spread. And because of that, and because of the gap, I think it goes under here. I don't think Boston puts up the points necessary. I think they have some pretty inconsistent players. And I even wonder if Tatum puts up 30 and Kemba puts up 30, I still don't think it's going to be enough, especially when you got some bum like Evan Fournier, who you never know what he's going to do. Like the dude puts up 5. Like, yeah, maybe once in a blue moon, he'll put up a 20 spot. But even if he does, I don't think it's enough. Still, I just don't think very much of Boston at this point in the season. I think they're ready to go home. I think this series is a 4-0 or a 4-1 sweep, or not sweep, 4-1. You get what I'm saying. But anyways, the point prop that I like for that game, though, is actually Kyrie Irving. I love Kyrie Irving over 24.5. The only way I don't see that happening is if it's an absolute crazy blowout. But I don't think it'll be a crazy blowout. It's the playoffs. I think Brooklyn gets up 15 or so, and they cruise, and they end up winning by 11, 12, 13, something like that. That is how I see the game going. That is my opinion. The Boston Celtics all year have struggled with point guards. I mean, Kyrie's maybe a top 3 point guard in the league. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Kyrie here. And then not to mention it's his old team. He wants to stick it to him. Kyrie over 24.5, I think is a pretty good spot, especially when they know KD is the 1, Kyrie is the 2, or opposite. I'll always put KD as the 1, but again, you get what I'm saying. James Harden's done an amazing job at knowing his role, distributing, and getting his points when he needs to, okay? So those are the plays for the Boston Celtics against the Brooklyn Nets. Going into the second game of the night, that is the Los Angeles Lakers against the Phoenix Suns. I personally like the Lakers at -1.5, and then the over-under for that is 208. I don't know. That's just a number I don't really love. I don't know if I'm going to touch that. I personally like the Lakers -1.5 better. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world, but you know, if LeBron was in one of these spots before where they're coming off a loss, I don't want to say underperform, but he needs to score more. He needs to be more of an attacker. He needs to get them going early. LeBron knows that. He's a smart player. He's a coach on the floor. He knows what he needs to do. It's him and Anthony Davis, who greatly underperformed. I don't think Anthony will do that again. Anthony's one of the better players in this league. Getting outperformed by DeAndre Ayton is probably a little embarrassing for Anthony Davis, who was considered top 5. I still consider a top 5, top 3 player when he is grooving and at his best. Yes, I'm sure some people are like, what? He's coming off an injury. When Anthony Davis is full health, in a groove, rolling, he's a top 3 player on this league. And I'm talking both offensively and defensively. A lot of people forget about defense these days. So yes, that is why I think the Lakers will cover that spread at minus 1.5. That is currently at minus 112 on DraftKings or minus 120 money line on DraftKings. So you can get either of those. Again, any play I give you, I mean, look at my sick background. Everything's going to be DraftKings. All right, guys. So those are the plays for the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. Okay. I don't really have any player props for that one just yet because no player props were released. I like Anthony Davis. Again, I like him in a bounce back spot. I'm hoping that line will open up at, if we were extremely lucky, 23.5. I would hope for 24.5, and I wouldn't be surprised at 25.5. 23.5, 24.5, I'd be all over. 25.5, I'd be a little sketchy about. Okay. You can also look at his point, rebounds, assists. He didn't even rebound the basketball that well last game, and I just expect all of that to change. Also, Chris Paul is potentially coming into the game with an injury. Did not play that well last game. I think this is going to be a longer series. We got to buckle up for this one. It's going to be a good series, very competitive, physical. So yes, that is where I'm going. I'm going to go with the Lakers with the bounce back in the minus 1.5 DraftKings spot. Okay. And going to the third and final game of the night, which is my favorite game. If you guys aren't watching Luka, tune in, man. This guy is unbelievable. 31-point triple-double against the Clippers, but Luka loves playing the Clippers. Okay, this is a -6 Clippers spread right now. The over-under is 216. It's very tough for me to do because I know Dallas. I know how well their defense is. If you followed my articles, you know I've been preaching about their defense all year long. And they're kind of a team that people don't talk about their defense, and they do. They play pretty good defense. So I am going to, which kind of, it's not exactly where I'm going with this because I'm going to be on the Clippers -6 here. I think it's just a bounce back spot. I think the Clippers know what they need to do. They were bounced by Denver last year. Pretty embarrassing. And yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. So they were a team that was supposed to be in the championship or facing the Lakers to get there. Didn't even make it there because of Denver. And yeah, after coming out and just blowing it like that, I would think if you are the Los Angeles Clippers, you are going to bounce back, and you're going to bounce back pretty hard. So I'm going to take them with the -6 here. I like this spot. They still have Kawhi. They still have Paul George. Marcus Morris played absolutely terrible. I think he had 4 points in 33 minutes, which is another thing I'll get to because I do like him. So yes, I will be on the Clippers -6. And then also because of game flow, I think this game is going to be a little more explosive. I think the Clippers know they need to get out early. So I like the over 216 here. Generally in the playoffs, I like unders, but this is just a different spot. It's a different feel for me. And I like the Clippers potentially pushing this game over, and I like them covering that spread as well. So that's where I'm going to be going. Lastly, the player prop that I like probably more than any player prop tonight is Marcus Morris over 12.5 points. That's sitting at -115 DK. This is something he's hitting at about 60%, 60% plus. His point prop is down because he had a 7-point outing and he only had 17 minutes, game before playoffs, I believe. And then his last game, he had just an awful outing with 33 minutes and 4 points. I didn't see how he shot, but he's a player, when he gets that ball, he loves to attack. He loves to shoot. This Clippers team is also a team that kind of needs that number 3, someone who can fill it up. Marcus Morris is generally that guy. He can easily get over 12.5 points. I think this point prop, again, it's a little lower than usual. I think typically he'd be at 13.5 or 14.5. So yes, I really do like him here. It's tough for me to go with Kawhi. I think it's 26.5, and then Paul George is at 26.5. Both those guys are only hitting that about 35, 40%. So again, when you read into the statistics, it's tougher to go there. So that's why I'm kind of siding with someone like Marcus Morris. I enjoy that. Again, coming off a bad game, you can read into that stuff too, guys. Look at their past games. Their numbers will decline. Like the same thing. I mean, Aaron Gordon not playing good, but when he was on Orlando, he was more of someone who had to shoot more, this and that. When he came back from injury, you can get it lower. Just an example. You can get some of these point props at lower odds, and I would say a better chance to hit if you're paying attention. So those are my plays for the Tuesday NBA playoff slate. Again, shout out DraftKings for giving us the opportunity to make these videos and giving the group the opportunity at certain promotions, DraftKings DFS slates, and things like that. So keep a lookout for those going forward. And best of luck this Tuesday. Let's get some wins in the Detroit Sports Bettors group, guys. All right, good luck.